but the notion that there is something genuine inside of every person
Absolutely.
that, and it keeps you from that always and never, like believing that someone is all bad or all good,
Mm-hmm.
right? And somebody may be someone you don't necessarily like, but there is something genuine and good in them.
Yeah.
And it's almost like being an investigative journalist. Like, can you dig in and find it? My goal, one of my goals for this year, just internally, was to be a better question asker, and that's part of why I relaunched the podcast. I wanted to get better at how do I phrase questions, how many do I ask. I keep showing up at these networking events that sometimes make my skin crawl, just trying to ask more and more questions.
But
Um,
questions help create that genuine connection, asking about people's life.
yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah.
and it allowed me to be, and I felt I've I feel a lot if we get into like Enneagram world. I'm an 8, so I feel things in my body very, very quickly before my brain processes it.
Yeah.
It's a good and a bad thing, but I would literally feel like my blood pressure come down, or I would feel my cynicism being pushed back because I would, render probably a pretty cynical judgment against people in certain circumstances. But I found that just asking a few more questions, digging in, following up, I got to see more of who that person was.
Right.
And I found that I had a more informed, a more accurate, and also a more kind opinion of that individual. And it allowed me to build more bridges than, say, burn them or just not build them in the first place. But I
Yeah.
think that those mindsets of, where's our common ground? What are we mutually passionate or committed to? And there is something good and genuine and worthy inside of this person, and maybe it's a little hard to unearth, but it's worth unearthing in order to build that connection with that person